After 3 years of silence, I received a letter from my son, and my heart nearly jumped out of my chest with joy. I was about to open it when my wife shouted, "Stop." I asked, "What's wrong?" She pointed and whispered, "Can't you see?" I looked closer, and what I saw shocked me to the core. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. My hands trembled as I reached for the mailbox. Something about the white envelope on top made my pulse quicken before I even saw the handwriting. 3 years of empty mailboxes had trained me not to hope, but there it was. Marcus's careful script spelling out my name. September 12th, his birthday. How could I forget? I held the envelope against the afternoon light, studying the familiar curves of his letters. The return address showed his downtown apartment, the same place where everything fell apart. My chest tightened with possibilities I'd buried long ago. "Rita?" I called, rushing up the front steps. "Rita, get over here quick." My voice cracked with an excitement I hadn't felt in years. The screen door slammed behind me as I hurried through the living room, still clutching the envelope like it might disappear. "What's all the shouting about?" Rita appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Her brown eyes immediately found the letter in my grip. "Look at this." I held it up, watching her expression change from mild annoyance to surprise. "It's from Marcus, today of all days." Rita stepped closer, adjusting her glasses. "That's his handwriting, all right." She touched my arm gently. "Are you sure you're ready for this, Frank?" I turned the envelope over in my hands, feeling its weight. Not heavy enough for multiple pages, but substantial. Real. After 3 years of silence, my son had written to me on his 29th birthday. "I keep thinking this might be it," I whispered. "Maybe he's finally ready to talk." The afternoon sun slanted through our front window, casting everything in golden light. Outside, neighbors were coming home from work, children playing in yards, the world continuing as normal. But inside our house, time had stopped. Rita settled into the chair beside me, her presence steady and warm. "Whatever it says, we'll handle it together." I nodded, though my throat felt tight. 3 years of hoping, of failed attempts, of lying awake wondering if I'd been too harsh, too stubborn. 3 years of missing my son's laugh, his quick wit, the way he used to call me every Sunday just to chat. The envelope felt heavier now, loaded with possibilities. Reconciliation, forgiveness, maybe even an invitation to be part of his life again. Or perhaps another rejection. Another door slammed in my face that I set it carefully on the coffee table between us, afraid to tear it open, afraid not to. He remembered I'd be thinking of him today. I said finally. Rita's hand found mine. He always was thoughtful like that. The memory hit me then, sudden and sharp. Not of recent years, but of birthday mornings when Marcus was small, racing down these same stairs in his pajamas, eyes bright with anticipation. Before life got complicated. Before Isabella. Before everything went wrong. I picked up the envelope again, studying the careful way he'd written our address. No mistakes, no crossed-out letters. He'd taken time with this, planned it. That had to mean something good. I can't remember the last time I felt this nervous, I admit it. "September 12th, 2021, Rita said quietly. "The day you decided to drive over there and try to talk sense into him." The weight of that memory settled over me like a heavy blanket. That terrible afternoon that changed everything between us. I remembered standing outside Marcus's apartment building, my finger hovering over his doorbell. The downtown neighborhood bustled around me. Young professionals rushing home, couples walking dogs. I'd driven there with such determination, convinced I could make him see reason about Isabella. When Marcus opened his door, he looked tired in a way that worried me. Dark circles under his eyes, his usually perfect posture slightly slumped. "Dad, what are you doing here?" "We need to talk, son. About your marriage." His jaw tightened immediately. "If this is about Isabella again, it is about Isabella, and about you making the biggest mistake of your life." He stepped back, but didn't invite me in. "I'm 26 years old. I don't need relationship advice from my father. When your wife is gambling away your future, you need advice from someone who cares about you." That's when Isabella appeared behind him, her hand possessive on his shoulder. The sight of her made my stomach churn. Too smooth, too manipulative, the kind of woman who could convince you to give her your last dollar and thank her for it. "Frank," she said with false warmth, "what brings you by?" "I'm talking to my son about the casino receipts I saw in your purse last month." Marcus's face went white. You were snooping in our things? I was helping you move that dresser and papers fell out. $2,800 in one night. Marcus. How many nights like that have there been? Isabella's mask slipped for just a second, revealing something cold underneath. That was a work event. Client entertainment. Don't lie to me, daughter. I know the difference between business expenses and addiction. This is my life. Marcus exploded. My marriage, my decisions. When are you going to stop treating me like a child? When you stop acting like one? This woman is destroying your credit. Probably already drained your savings. You don't know what you're talking about. But I could see in his eyes that I did know. The way he couldn't quite meet my gaze, the defensive set of his shoulders, the way Isabella's grip on his shoulder tightened possessively. What about family, Marcus? Doesn't that mean anything to you anymore? Family. He laughed bitterly. You mean the family that never accepted my choices? That questioned every decision I made. We questioned this one because we love you. No, you questioned it because you can't control me anymore. Isabella stepped forward then, her voice silky with false concern. Maybe it's time for some space, Frank. Let Marcus make his own choices without interference. The manipulation was so smooth, so practiced. I watched my son's face as he absorbed her words, saw him building walls I'd never be able to scale. She's right, Dad. I think you should leave. The words hit me like physical blows. Marcus, please just think about what I'm saying. I'm thinking, and I'm choosing my wife over your suspicions. The door closed in my face with a soft click that echoed like thunder. Now, sitting in my kitchen 3 years later, I could still feel the weight of that rejection, but maybe today would be different. Maybe this letter would finally bridge the gap that had grown between us. I held my breath and prepared to tear open the envelope. Wait. Rita's sharp voice made me freeze. My fingers stopped halfway under the envelope flap, Rita's urgent tone cutting through my excitement like a blade. Wait for what? She leaned closer, squinting at the address through her reading glasses. Give me another look at that handwriting. Rita, what's wrong? Something's not right. She took the envelope from my hands, holding it up to the window light. Look at how he wrote your name. See the slant. I studied the letters more carefully, irritation prickling at my hope. It looks fine to me. No, Frank. Marcus's writing always slanted to the right. Always. 25 years of helping him with homework taught me to notice these things. Her finger traced the letters. This slants left. Maybe he's stressed. People's handwriting changes when they're upset, not the fundamental slant. That's muscle memory. Rita held the envelope at arm's length, then close again. And look at the pressure. Marcus has a heavy hand. He presses hard when he writes. These letters are too light. My chest tightened with a different kind of fear. You're imagining things. Am I? Look at this F in Frank. Marcus makes his FS perfectly straight like little flags. This one has too many loops. Too fancy. Handwriting changes over time. Not this much. Not the basic letter formations. Rita's voice carried the authority of someone who'd spent decades analyzing student work. This person is trying to copy his style, but getting the details wrong. I wanted to argue, to defend my fragile hope, but doubt crept in like cold water. The more I looked, the more the differences became obvious. The spacing between words, the rhythm of the letters, even the way the pen had moved across the paper. It all felt foreign. But who would? I started, then stopped. I don't know. But this isn't from our son. The envelope suddenly felt heavy in my hands, not with promise, but with deception. Someone had gone to the trouble of imitating Marcus's handwriting, of using our pain against us. The cruelty of it took my breath away. We have to open it, I said finally. We need to know what this is about. Rita nodded reluctantly. Whatever it is, it's not going to be good news. I tore open the envelope anyway, my hands steadier now that hope had died and been replaced by grim determination. If someone wanted to hurt us, I needed to know how and why. The paper crinkled as I unfolded it, my hands moving mechanically now that hope had curdled into dread. Rita leaned against my shoulder, both of us peering at the single sheet of white paper. Dear Dad, I read aloud, my voice catching on the familiar word that now felt like a lie. I desperately need your help. I'm in the hospital and require emergency surgery that my insurance won't cover. The doctors say I need $15,000 immediately, or I might not survive. Oh my, Rita gasped. I know we haven't talked in years, but you're the only one I can turn to. Please don't let our past disagreements prevent you from saving your son's life. I need you to immediately transfer the money to my cryptocurrency wallet. The random string of letters and numbers felt like gibberish in my mouth. Time is critical. I continued reading. The surgery is scheduled for tomorrow morning, and they won't proceed without payment. I'm sorry it took a crisis to reach out, but I'm desperate. Please help me, Dad. Your loving son, Marcus. The letter fell from my hands, fluttering to the coffee table like a dying bird. That's not how he talks, Rita said immediately. He never called you Dad in letters. Always Pop or your name. In cryptocurrency, Marcus works in accounting. If he needed money, he'd use normal banking, not some digital nonsense. I shook my head in disgust. He'd never be this formal with me either. Even when he was angry, his letters had personality. This sounds like it was written by a robot. Who does this? My voice cracked with rage. Who targets grieving parents with fake letters from their children? Someone who knows about our situation. Rita's analytical mind was working now,